It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
All right, everybody, welcome back. We got a brand new video for you guys that was actually suggested by one of you guys in the Discord community, which is actually a tweet. So this is kind of new for us because we don't really talk about many tweets because I'm not really on Twitter like that. But I want to give a shout out to Magarific for suggesting this this tweet, basically from Momoseventh. And it reads, quote, "My fellow killer mains, this girl called me an incel for killing her as killer, by the way." And the original quote here, which we'll go ahead and take a look at just for some context. So this one is from Hens. It talks about the kill rate being at like 54.6 right now. Very interesting. I would suspect that to have dropped a bit with the rework, since the 110% makes them a lot harder to play overall. Which I'm not sure what they're referring to. What does that have to... Oh no, Trickster, my bad. I skimmed it, my mistake. So basically Trickster's kill rate dropped, which is pretty much what I expected, right? Because they made the character extremely slow in everything he does. So like that's already not good. We already understand that. So then this individual states apparently, quote, "If Hens is right here, good. That means we're finally getting closer to true 50-50 balance in DBD. Funny how as we've approached balance, my fellow killer mains have started to freak out and lose their minds. Lamau. Maybe now they'll admit that hand holding has always been for them." Excuse me? No, that's actually incorrect. That's not how asymmetrical games work. So I decided to actually Google, what asymmetrical meant, because I just had to make sure I didn't misread or misunderstand. But asymmetrical says having parts that fail to correspond to one another in shape, size, or arrangement, lacking symmetry. So by the literal definition of an asymmetrical game, that means that things are going to be different, right? In other words, they are going to lack symmetricalness, right? That's what asymmetry is, asymmetrical. So let's put that into context. What is an asymmetrical game, right? So if we look at this overview, which I mean, this is the best I could find that actually can directly talk about what makes the game asymmetric. But basically it says an asymmetric game is a multiplayer game where players or teams have unequal powers, objectives, or mechanics, such as the 1v4, one versus many structure. Unlike symmetric games where everyone has the same tools, asym games common in hard genres like Dead by Daylight pit one powerful player against several weaker task-oriented players. And what fits that definition? Literally almost every asymmetrical game does this. By the very definition, that's completely incorrect, because if Dead by Daylight is an asymmetrical game by literally its definition, by literally how it's played and functions, by it reaching 50-50 balance, then you quite literally are by directly destroying the game's integrity, because it's supposed to be an asymmetrical, not a symmetrical game. A symmetrical PvP game would be Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege. You could say even like you name it, right? Like For Honor, potentially. Like whatever multiplayer game that you go against PvP, it's going to be symmetrical because you both will have the same tools to fight each other. You know what I mean? Like Siege, for example, despite it being attacker and defender, everyone has gadgets. Everyone can use their gadgets in different ways. Everyone can shoot through walls. Everyone can make holes in walls, use different ways to breach, different ways to destroy things, different ways to get angles. Everyone can lean. Everyone can do the same things. That's not how it works in DBD. There's a survivor side that needs to get objectives done, complete the generators, try to get away from a dude with a weapon. The dude with the weapon is usually supposed to have powers, is supposed to be stronger by definition. It's supposed to. I can't say it is reflective in the game currently, but it's supposed to be stronger. Supposed to be able to outclass these survivors to a good amount. A good example of that would be Friday the 13th, right? Where you're able to essentially, if you grab somebody, it's a threat. And someone's gonna have to try to help you because you can't fight them on your own. If it was Jason versus Jason or something like that, I'd be like, okay, but that would be a symmetrical game. But that's an asymmetrical game. So that already, by definition, the whole thing falls apart, right? But anyway, so this person starts to crash out and say, as always, guys, know your effing place on my page. If you attempt to spread misinformation or insult me in any way, your reply will be hidden and you will be blocked. So it seems like they're not really interested in actually having any logical discussion or discourse, because they're immediately going to delete comments that they deem, you know, to be misinformation, apparently. But okay. And then this person says that we're not even close to 50% balance, though, because the kill rate of over every killer is over 60%. But yeah, I mean, that, like I've said, that doesn't make any sense. So this person says it's an asym. It's not supposed to be 50-50. One is stronger than the 4 for it to be balanced. So it would never be 50-50. You'd have to heavily force it by equalizing the 1 with the 4 more often than making the 4 stronger than the 1. Which is exactly what they're doing. And then this person says it does not have to be balanced, apparently. There is a statistically factual definition of balance, and that is 50-50. Anything other than that is unfair and biased by definition. So are we forgetting what kind of game this is? Like, I don't really... You can't say a game can be balanced when it's, say, symmetrical, in the sense that it is 50-50. That doesn't really make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. The killers are supposed to, by definition, right? Because they have powers, weapons. The other people are regular people with toolboxes, no weaponry, pieces of wood, and they have to juke the killer. They don't have weapons. So doesn't that, by definition, literally mean that they can't be symmetrical? Because they're not exactly the same. They don't have powers. They don't have weapons. They don't have abilities. Like, they're not even remotely the same. Like, that, by definition, you know what I mean? It's just incorrect. And as you can see, this person talks about trying to do a debate, and then this person says, I don't debate matters of fact. And then they want to say, yeah, no, this has to be trolling, right? Because they say, would not be willing to debate whether the game is killer-sided or survivor-sided. Yeah, no, like yeah, no, this person has to be like trolling or rage baiting, because like there's no way that like genuinely somebody believes this stuff. Like, there's just no way. There's just physically no way. Like, there's literally no way. Like, this makes literally zero sense. Like, an asymmetrical game that needs to make sure that the killer side is supposed to be stronger, right? Because that's how asymmetry works. You're trying to make sure that the one is able to keep up and potentially go slightly above the other side. Now, the problem is that with an execution of this game, we're not seeing that, right? Because the escape rates are skyrocketing. Keep in mind that the data that they're supposedly claiming is, oh yeah, this is improving our point. This is not current. This is not the current months in the day and age. Secondly, we have to keep in mind that these stats are reflective for the broad MMR at that time, the high MMR at that time. And the broad MMR, which is low to average, is a different game compared to high MMR as it is. You can even see by the killer selection, Vecna works across the board. But then where's Vecna lower on the high MMR? Freddy's not even seen in high MMR. Pinhead not even seen in high MMR over here, as you can see. Sadako, same thing. They're not even the same thing. So by definition, like, we're not even taking into account, because mind you, this was before the fast track updates, I'm pretty sure, the current like palette density updates, all the extra stuff that's been making like killer even worse as it is, right? But that's just getting into the original post that's being discussed. Now we have to actually get into like what Momoseventh was talking about. So, as Momoseventh is saying, quote, my fellow killer mains, this girl called me an insult for killing her as killer by the way. And then of course somebody wants to try to, like, you know, with of course a survivor PFP, you know, it's really interesting. You know what I mean? It's really funny because I've had people try to come out and say, what are you talking about? They're not a survivor main, or how do you know that, or something like that. They're literally promoting themselves by using fan art of a survivor character in the game. They're using that as an identifier. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Of course they're going to have a survivor side to take. Like, it's just going to happen. And then this person actually replied, you know, I like that. He has like a little Cenobite like picture. And it says, oh, there you go. The same person with the same name, as you can see right there on the screenshot. Right there. They have Shoulder the Burden, Decisive Strike, Dead Hearted, Unbreakable, with a commodious toolbox with the extra speed repair and the brand new part. And it says it right there. I mean, the evidence is right there. Their name is right there, calling this other individual a, quote, greasy virgin, it said. So it's just really interesting to see that there's no self-awareness. There really is no self-awareness here, is what I'm understanding. Like, they must be like, this has to be like a joke, right? I mean, you can't unironically be doing this, right? Like, I don't really understand like what is going on here. Let me, I don't know if I can zoom into this, but yeah, like it's going to be obviously linked. I'm gonna see if I can actually show this on screen for you guys to see. As you can see, it actually right at the very top, it's right there at the very top, the same name, and they just write some nonsense and fly out the lobby. So, I mean, who would have thought, right? Like, this person that is claiming that, oh my god, it's so killer-sided and, oh, I'm a killer main. If you're a killer main, then why are you complaining about a killer playing the game? If you're a killer main, then why didn't you know how to counter blight? If you're a killer main, then why didn't you know how to use your powers correctly against the killer? Because you must have gone against these perks before, so you must know how to use them, right? You must have that experience. But no, you're going in and trying to insult people, which is evident from multiple people in this thread, basically, of tweets that are like giving their take, like, yeah, I went against them too, and they keep saying the same stuff to me. So that's it right there. And then we have somebody else that's also I don't know if they're a content creator, but they say that's the girl that made a whole ass hate video about me because I said killers need a gen regression at high MMR. So it seems like this is not like, this is a repeated behavior where they, for whatever reason, attack people on, whether it be endgame chats, they attack people in video formats, and they're apparently, which if you scroll down here, there's another post here that says, they know this person, her entire TikTok's looking at bad takes from only killer players, and when I asked her why she only looks at killer players, she said that the only ones with bad takes, didn't know she was a bit of a weirdo as well. So what I will say in response to that, I have to say, is what did you expect, right? This individual is trying to, spread misinformation, trying to spread really bad takes that have no evidence or basis in reality, that have nothing to prove, really. And this is an example that I've shown you guys in previous videos that I've talked about many times, is that people will say stuff in the DBD community that have no basis in reality, that have no evidence, and then when we as killer players bring up stuff, and we actually have stacks of evidence, we have screenshots, we have statistics, data, video, like we have all these different things that are showing what we're explaining, and then we get people that will side with this other individual that has no evidence, no statistics, no screenshots, no nothing, and wants to pretend that they are oh, I'm one of you guys, so you guys are terrible. It's like, you don't even play the killer, right? Clearly you don't. Because keep in mind, right, in the screenshot that we saw, why were they struggling against the killer's perks? Because if you play killer, or if you even play killer at all, you would understand how to counter the blight. You would understand how perks work. Why are you struggling then, in that sense? Why are you getting upset? You know what I mean? If you understand killer, right, you main killer, ooh, you main killer, why would you be upset at how they play? You should already understand why they play the way they play. This other person says she always gives some of the worst takes and says as a killer main, like it proves her point. It pretty much, like, can you imagine if I were to do the same thing? Like if I said, oh, as a survivor main, and you like, and I'm just like saying like the dumbest things imaginable. Like that just doesn't make any sense, right? Like I actually have my viewpoints that are supported by evidence, and you guys see it for yourselves if you check out the streams, if you check out the videos, if you look at the examples that people provide, if you look at the different things that we talk about, you'll understand like this is not just something that comes out of nowhere. Like this is something that we have understood because of what evidence is there. That's the difference, you know what I mean? And this person says that this girl refuses to accept that she's wrong ever. It's insufferable, and claims to fight ableism, but blocked and timed me out for calling her out for being ableist. She called somebody schizophrenic for believing that shoulder burden is a strong perk. So yeah, like as much as, well, which I'm not going to talk about the perk in itself, but I am going to say that that already is very problematic and sort of reflective of what I've been talking about with the DBD community. And it's the fact that we have people with platforms that are spreading this misinformation, that are spreading this level of toxicity, and are having audiences off of this, that are spreading this misinformation, but that aren't even supported with evidence or data. It's just really bad takes that have like complete bias and have nothing to show for it. There's no evidence to prove these things. They're the same people that are playing killer once a month, and then they claim that they main killer. Like, no, you don't. Like, you clearly don't. Because there's no way that you could have these takes and also still play killer. Like, there's just no way. Those said palette density was fine. Curiously, she also says she mains and plays Wraith in that same video. Curious when you consider what Wraith does to palettes. Is another take that I have also heard a lot about. But I've also noticed that the people who say that the palette density doesn't matter are playing characters that deal with palettes very easily, which is like, what, 2 characters? Like, I know Wraith specifically is known to be the palette munching killer because he has add-ons that make stuff break faster. And look, this other person says that they faced her. My Swift 4 outed her. She thought she was new. This person says the girl blocked me because I stated changes that were inherently survivor-sided. She claims that recent patches are hand-holdy for killers. So a lot of people are just kind of tearing it apart, you know what I mean? This person says that this person also says that it's a skill issue of tunnel and that Deli and shoulder the burden are balanced. Like, you know what I mean? It just keeps going, bro. And then people are just going over like back to back to back to back, just like roasting this individual. And I can kind of understand it. Like, they are not really coming in with good faith, and a lot of people are already able to disprove everything that they're stating. So like, this is something that I've kind of expected. And this is just another example of what I was telling you guys about the DBD community as a whole. And this is just like what I'm just, you know, putting some awareness to, because this is very prevalent, unfortunately, within the DBD community. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments section about this topic here today, man. What do you think about the take here? What do you think about the situation, I guess you could say? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. Hit the like, hit the sub, man. Become a member on YouTube or Patreon, or even subbing on Twitch. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, let's go ahead and read off these wonderful members. We got Patreon, Crow Vader. All my YouTube members, Brando, Evil Blade, Cap Courteous, WTF You're Not JLo, Evil Peach, Cargan Falcon, Dole Whip, Noxus, Zero Mocker, Jack, Christian, and Crow Vader. Really appreciate you guys supporting, man. And if you also subbed on Twitch, just know that you got love coming your way too. Appreciate you guys, man.